Welcome to Still Plays Galaxy Viewers. We are back with a talk video and it is IG-12 GROGU time, which means we are pretty close to seeing Kelleran back and getting Mand'alor Bo. CJ is going to have to pick up the pace if they want to get ahead of me. Normal things, kit reveal, we'll look at the insights and the tips, we'll do our breakdown analysis, we might look at some squad stuff, we'll see how I'm feeling later in this record. IG-12 and GROGU joined the game as a light side Mandalorian healer, notably and predictably missing 2 tags, reducing our plug and play options. Probably deserves at least an unaligned Force user tag and arguably a droid tag. But as we'll see as we get deeper into the insights in the kit, he, when paired with Beskar Mando, can serve as a scoundrel, which reintroduces at least a little bit of flexibility. Now, he will be bringing to light side Mandalorians a heal, a mass assist, and some cleansing, along with some control capabilities with blind and daze. And within the tips portion, CG emphasizes that light side Mandalorians will be required from GROGU's unique. We're going to want to mod him for health. The healing is contingent on max health, and this portion here is where they emphasize the scoundrel tag portion that we have already mentioned. We're going to keep it moving today. We're going to just jump right into this breakdown of the kit. The basic ability, no. Inflict healing immunity on the target, can't evade or resist, and call a random light side Mandalorian to assist, dealing 50% less damage. If it's GROGU's turn, this is going to inflict ability block, which can't be evaded or resisted, and remove the damage penalty from the assist. This is pretty big. A little Mon Mothma-like, since every time GROGU attacks out of turn, he's going to be calling an assist, which means potentially a ton of assists. And actually, this is one of those kits that we need to be starting with the unique because of all of the assist functionality that's going on here. We really can't appreciate what is going on with the basic without first understanding what is happening with the unique. With the unique ability, yes, this is a Zeta and an OMICRON ability. I think we're going to handle this in 2 ways. One, we're going to do the bulk of the unique right now, but at the end of the kit reveal, we are going to return here to handle the OMICRON separately because we don't really care about what the OMICRON is going to do for the primary purposes of breaking down this kit. Now, what we have here with this unique ability is at the battle start, if BAM is an ally, GROGU gains the scoundrel tag. That we know. At the battle start, for each light side Mandalorian ally, GROGU is going to gain 20% max health, and here is a key part. GROGU has plus 100% counter chance, and this is a part of the reason why once I read the basic ability, I decided we really needed to address the unique ability, because with this 100% counter chance, we are going to be getting a lot of those attacks out of returns without having to rely on things like retribution. So GROGU is going to be able to punish this particularly mass assist squads and just constantly be calling light side Mandalorian allies to assist. At the start of GROGU's turn, all light side Mandalorian allies recover 20% of GROGU's max health, and if light side Mandalorians are already at full health, they gain offense up and protection up. Now, this protection up condition is what I'm really interested in here. This is going to add a ton of survivability. It's going to be fairly consistent, and protection up can be very annoying. I would look at characters that ignore protection as well as land healing immunity to bring against these Mandos, because this protection up mechanic, along with Bo-Katan bringing in additional recovery, this is going to be a very survivable squad. Whenever GROGU uses a special ability, a random other light side Mandalorian ally is going to assist, gaining additional effects depending on the ability. If it's the first special, yes, the assisting ally reduces their cooldowns by 1. If it's the second special, no, the assisting ally will deal 20% more damage and assists again. These assist mechanics would be better if they weren't random, but even so, this is potentially being triggered regularly regularly throughout the battle and will be punishing AoE teams with Grogu's 100% counter chance. And so bringing in stuns and days are also going to sound like they're going to be of particular importance in countering this squad. Now, I'm going to be doing offensive testing, at least initially, to learn this squad, but it already sounds like this team is going to be a defensive cornerstone with the unresistible healing immunity on basic and unavailable days. This is going to cause Wampa problems, and Wampa may have a chance, but it might only be the good Wampas that have a chance up against this squad. And this last portion before the OMICRON here, if there are no other allied combatants at the start of a turn, IG-12 will escape. And we return to the abilities. The first special, yes, a cooldown of 2, cleanse the weakest ally and the target ally and recover health equal to 30% of Grogu's max health. And in addition, AoE gain defense up for allies. Pay attention to who you target with this ability. You don't want to target the weakest ally since it always heals the weakest. Choose the next weakest or you prevent the full functionality of this ability, which if you sleepwalk through some of these battles like I do from time to time, you could limit the effect here. The second special, No, 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 a cooldown of 3. Call other target ally to assist. AoE inflict blind and daze, which can't be evaded, but it can be resisted. AoE dispel all buffs and stun target. Now, I spent a lot of time trying to figure out why this says call other target ally and not just call target ally. I don't think I really came to a conclusion on that. But the main point here is there's a lot of assisting in this kit, more than I was expecting, and that assisting is going to be very damaging because along with all of that assisting, we're also getting healing and recovery, we're getting survivability with protection up, and we're getting a lot of control abilities with the blind and the daze, which is why I think this squad is going to be so effective on defense. It's going to be quite annoying because of how it's going to be able to dispel the buffs that attempt to control it. It is going to be super recoverable and healing up the squad, and it is going to be able to mitigate the attacks with all the control mechanics. Going to be a really solid defensive team. I think maybe teams like Melgus with Fear are going to have some of the strongest opportunities up against it, because some of those Sith Empire characters can also ignore protection, or maybe it's defense. I forget the specifics. Not just defense too, but this kit is going to be really fantastic in Conquest with Blindside and Perseverance, those data discs, even at low stars and gear. So if we do get Mando related feats in future Conquest, don't avoid them just because you've ignored Mandalorians, because I can see this character punching up with the right data discs in that game mode. This squad should be able to get feats without too much issue if we do happen to see Mandalorian feats in the near future, which I would expect based on the history of CG. They do really tailor those feats towards recent marquees, which is part of the reason why I advocate going after new characters quickly, because it does give you an advantage with the compounding effect on your roster with the additional resources that you receive in return. And as we return to the unique ability for the OMICRON, it is a territory war army. The first time each allied lightside Mando ally loses all protection, Grogu gains a bonus turn and resets the cooldown of No, 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 which again is the second special that inflicts blind and daze. Call an additional other ally whenever Grogu uses special ability, and they gain additional effects depending on the ability. What the OMICRON adds to that portion is if it's yes, the first special, the assisting ally deals 10% more damage and recovers 20% protection, and if that ability is No, 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 the second special, the assisting ally gains crit damage up. Now in terms of this OMICRON, that second condition, that doesn't really matter to me as much. If you're using them with Bo-Katan, for instance, I don't really care about the additional 20% protection recovery. I definitely don't care about the crit damage up buff only landing on the assisting character. What this is really going to be about is the resetting of the cooldown of no, allowing for the additional inflicting of blind and daze. But since it's only the first time that it happens, this is kind of a weaker Omicron. This is a territory where Omicron that is definitely in the luxury range from my interpretation, and there's plenty of other far more worthy Omicrons that I would be considering. We're going to take a quick cursory look at some squad thoughts while we wait for Mand'alor Bo to join the game and see her kit. Now with this Mand'alor Bo squad, we do have Bo-Katan Kryze here as a stand-in, not going to be a member of the squad. I do think she is going to be the one that drops out because of a lot what her kit offers is redundant with GROGU. And IG-11 is here as a stand-in for GROGU. We're just going to be calling GROGU because the unique ability on Bo is very powerful. It's what makes her very valuable on a Maul squad right now because of all that protection recovery. The amount of recovery and survivability on IG-11 makes that a little bit unnecessary. Now IG-11 is giving more healing and less protection recovery, so maybe Bo could have some value there, but the other things that she does are things like the AoE cleanse and stagger and some of the debuffs, which IG-11 is going to be bringing a little bit of that. Beskar Mando obviously is going to be paired with GROGU in most cases, but I also think he is going to be very important as the offensive capabilities of the squad. I do think Bo-Katan or Mand'alor Bo is probably going to be an offensive character. Otherwise, what could happen is we just see one of those timeout squads, which would make it valuable on defense, but it would also kind of just limit it more to defense than using it as an offensive option if she is a defensive character. Armor most likely is going to be here, although I wouldn't mind Armor dropping out because Armor has so much value as a plug-and-play character, and obviously Paz is going to go here. A lot of what he is going to do is going to be strengthened by being paired with the squad because of how his uniques work. Because of how Overheat is going to function, IG-12 is going to be very valuable paired with him. We'll see what Bo does. Now with this second squad, the Beskar Mando Scoundrels, this could be any number of different scoundrels. I do have Dash here because Dash works so well. IG-86 is shown as the GROGU stand-in in this case, and I have IG-11 here as IG-11, Quill as a representative. This could be in other versions. Quill I think is the reason why GROGU doesn't have a droid tag, because that probably would be a little too overpowered and might just, it would necessitate certain counters that CG probably doesn't want to require. Bam doesn't have to be the lead, it could be Dash lead, but some version of this. We've seen a ton of different versions of these characters. But what I think it does do, and what I think is valuable about it, is it removes Vandor Chewie from a Scoundrel squad, from a Dash squad or Beskar Mando squad, because Dash works much better with a Vandor Chewie, but what it does is freeze Vandor Chewie into a Wookiee squad. Because as I've played with Tarful, particularly at this Gear 12 level, having Vandor has been pretty valuable because I will lose characters like Clone War Chewie. Like Clone War Chewie really should be at relics to be used in any capacity. He dies way too easily. His kit is way too old. Tarful doesn't do enough to make Clone Wars Chewie usable, but Vandor kind of brings it all together. So being able to have Vandor dedicated to Tarful without weakening Dash or Beskar Mando, that's going to have a lot of value. And right there, we're going to wrap it up. We got a lot of stuff to get out. I'm going to have a roster update video coming out very soon. Already shot, just need to edit it. This one is the priority, but we also have the new raid. We have the new Datacrons, like way early for the new Datacrons. So be on the lookout for a lot to be forthcoming. Thank you for watching. Be excellent to each other, everybody. This is Still Plays Galaxy of Heroes.